what is considered a good salary in France in 2024. If you ask 10 different people what a good salary in France is, you will most likely get 10 different answers. That's because this is a very subjective question and the answer highly depends on your lifestyle, age, and also where you live in France. Also, the income levels will vary a lot depending on your industry, your level of experience, and also your gender. In this video, I will do my best to give you an understanding and the salary levels from low, good to top salaries in France, taking into account these 5 factors: industry, location, employment level, salaried versus self-employed, and gender. Unfortunately, yes, the gender still has a big impact on income level in France. Bonjour, I'm Giga from the blog Expat in France. I help English-speaking expats to move to France and navigate French culture and bureaucracy to build their new French life on their own terms. Now, if you're planning to move to France and don't know how to request a French sponsor-free visa, this is fully detailed in the Dream to Reality course, a comprehensive online course to help you prepare your visa request to move to France the right way. More information on this course in the link under this video. Now let's talk numbers. But before we start, you should know that the French minimum salary is €1,398.69 net per month since January 2024. I have used in this video official data from INSEE, the Public Statistics Department, and their latest report was made at the end of 2023 about the French salaries in 2021. Now let's see the average net monthly wages for full-time employees in the private sector by industry. In 2021, the average net full-time equivalent salary in the manufacturing sector was €2,780 per month. In the construction sector, it was €2,270, in the trade sector, €2,340, in transport and storage, €2,330, in the corporate services, €2,560. This category includes professional, scientists, technical activities, as well as administrative and support services. There are also mixed services with an average salary of €3,570, and this category includes information and communication services, financial and real estate services as well. Then the service to private individuals with a €2,000 average monthly salary, and this category includes accommodation and food service activity, as well as arts, entertainment, and other services activities. So the overall average across all industries in the private sector is €2,520 net per month. Now let's see the income level per industry when you are self-employed. Be aware that these statistics do not take into account the micro-entrepreneur status, but all the other self-employment statuses. In 2021, the average net full-time equivalent income for self-employed individuals in the manufacturing sector was €3,160 per month. In the construction sector, €2,880 per month. In the trade and commercial craft, €3,120 per month. In transport and storage, €1,910 per month. In the corporate and mixed services, €5,250 net per month. And in services to private individuals, €1,750 per month. For self-employed, there is also the category of health and social work with €6,030 net per month, taking into account that GPs are usually self-employed. So the overall average across all industries in the private sector is €4,030 net per month. Now what about the employment level impact on your income? Remember that these data are averages and you will need to do more specific research to check the salary levels for your position. Websites such as Michael Page, Pôle emploi, now called France Travail, or APEC are good sources for salary analysis. And just after this, we'll see the gender gap in France. There are four main socio-professional categories in France: managers, including salaried company directors, then intermediate professions, the employees, and the blue-collar workers. In 2021, the median income for managers in the private sector was €3,510 per month in full-time equivalent terms. This means that 50% of managers earn less than that amount and 50% earn more. This is the median, not the average. Then the lowest 10% earned less than €2,160, whilst the top 10% brought in more than €6,830 monthly. Now for the intermediate professions in 2021, the median monthly income was €2,270. The remuneration of 10% fell below €1,560, while the highest 10% earned €3,450 or more. Now the median income for employee positions in the private sector was €1,650 per month in 2021. The bottom 10% earned less than €1,300, so about the French minimum wage at the time, and the top 10% surpassed €2,440 monthly. Now the blue-collar workers. In this category, the 2021 median income was €1,760 per month. The lowest 10% earned less than €1,310, and the top 10% made more than €2,520. Overall, across all categories in the private sector, the median income for 2021 was €2,010 per month, and the bottom 10% earned less than €1,370 per month, so this means they were earning the French minimum salary at the time, and the top 10% exceeded €4,010 per month. Now let's talk about the controversial topic about the gender pay gap in France. And just after, we will discuss the salary differences depending on where you live in France. You might be surprised. Pay inequalities between women and men in France. What's really the situation? On average, women earn 24% less than men. And for equivalent working hours, they earn 15% less than men. Taking all working hours together, women earn an average of €1,553 net per month, while men earn €2,053 net per month according to this INSEE data from 2021. These figures cover all employees, people who work full-time all year round, and others who work part-time or intermittently. The difference between men and women is €500 a month on average. As I said, women earn 24% less than men, or to put it another way, men earn 32% more than women, full-time equivalent. If the result is different, it's because the percentages are not reversible. After all, they don't apply to the same base. Neither method is fairer or better, but it's striking to see that the method that produces the lower figure has become the standard in public debate in France, since we only hear about the 24% figure in the French media. To cancel out the effect of part-time work and overtime, salaries are compared based on 35 hours working week, or full-time equivalent salaries. For full-time work, the average net monthly salary for men is €2,689 in 2021 and €2,292 for women. On average, women will earn €400 less than men, so this means 15% less, or men will earn an average of 17% more than women, depending on how we want to look at it. And the further up the pay scale you go, the wider the gap between men and women becomes. According to this latest data, still on full-time equivalent basis, the lowest paid 10% of women have maximum salary that is 5% lower than that of men. So this means €1,336 compared with €1,400. However, the minimum wage for the top 10% of women is 17% lower than for men. So this means €3,577 for women compared to 5,317 euros for men. At the median level, women earn 10% less, which represents a gap of 2,015 euros per month with their male counterpart. Gender pay inequalities are highest among the senior managers, and conversely, the smallest gap is found among white-collar workers, about 5% less, a predominantly female category. Full-time pay differentials mainly reflect the fact that there are fewer women than men in the highest paid professional position. It is as if there were a glass ceiling preventing women from reaching high and very high paid positions, and as if female-dominated positions were systematically less valued. But these discrepancies also reflect, in part, more or less conscious wage discrimination between women and men. Now let's talk about geographical salary variation in France. This map here outlines the average salary variation between Île-de-France, the Paris region, and the other major regions of France. It's important to consider these differences with the year of experience necessary for the role, the sector of the company, and the company's size. This data is sourced from Michael Page 2003 report. Please bear in mind that France is a centralized country with most head offices localized in Paris. Therefore, a higher volume of executive positions are available in Paris compared to other regions. However, if you manage to secure an executive position in Lyon with a similar salary level to Paris, an achievable scenario according to Michael Page's report, you could enjoy a significantly better quality of life. This is due to the lowest cost of living and reduced time spent on transportation. Therefore, what truly matters is your purchasing power and how far does your salary stretch. So it's crucial to consider the cost of living in different regions of France. Watch out for a specific video on the cost of living in France coming soon. At the end of the day, the salary you need depends a lot on your personal lifestyle choices and what makes you happy. Always remember, knowledge is power, and knowing where you stand in relation to average salary could help you negotiate a better deal or potentially make smarter decisions about where to live in France. That's all for today. Remember to check out our next video where we dive into the cost of living in France. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me and YouTube know by giving it a like so that the algorithm shows it to more people who could find it helpful. Until next time, merci et à bientôt!